So Smallhold wants people to eat more mushrooms. We are mainly just trying to get mushrooms on people's plates in any sort of way possible. We want them to be grown locally so they're fresh and enjoyable. And we have different ways of doing that. We did that with on-site productions, as you mentioned, mini farms. That was the first thing we came out to market with. The main reason that we came out to market with that first is we didn't have any space and we didn't have any place to grow mushrooms on we had no property. And so we convinced restaurants to allow us to grow in the nooks and crannies of their spaces. And then that evolved quite a bit because a lot of people are extremely excited about that. You can find those in central markets in Texas. You can find them in various restaurants in New York and some grocery stores here as well. And you'll definitely see more of them in the years to come. We are continuing to install those, but not every customer necessarily wants a mini farm. Some places might not have as much mushroom sell through as certain places. And so we built larger facilities. We call them macro farms. Our most recent one we just built is 34,000 square feet in Vernon. It's 10 minutes east of downtown LA. And those are growing specialty mushrooms that are packed in compostable cardboard clamshells. Those are sold in retailers all over the place, but they're all sold regionally. And so if you're buying our mushrooms in Los Angeles, for example, at Whole Foods or Erewhon or Lassen's, they're all grown there. They're not grown from our facility in New York. We're building a national brand with local distribution. It's not an easy thing. It's a weird thing, but it's exactly how we want to do it because we think that the quality speaks for itself and it really helps get more people excited about mushrooms. One of the reasons why you don't see a lot of these mushrooms that we grow on the shelf is because they have horrible shelf life and they do not ship well. And the industry at large just ships produce all over the place. And no one's really figured it out the way that we're figuring it out. The grow kits was very interesting. It was very much a COVID response. We had some great customers going into COVID. We were a tiny team. We were a team of 12 going into that, and had a couple Whole Foods stores with our mini farms in it. But had a bunch of conversations going with some amazing retailers, including H-E-B and Central Market in Texas. But everyone just went dark. Like all of our restaurant customers disappeared. And that was in March of 2020 or whatever it was. And we just kind of jumped into action. We realized that our customers were still there. They were stronger than ever, honestly. Like people wanted to be healthy. The vegan thing was going on. Fantastic Fungi came out. All this kind of stuff started happening. And it was just more that the way of getting our mushrooms to them got more complicated. And so we did a home delivery for a while that was just literally like me and Adam, my co-founder, and our team just driving around in a van. Like we had a Google sheet where people could sign up and get 5 pounds a week from us. There's a lot of mushrooms, and we had a lot of people eating a lot of mushrooms, which goes back to our conversation about how much consumption you can have. Like our customers were eating 50 or 60 pounds a year. And then we realized that a bunch of our friends lost their jobs. And so we had all these commercial blocks and we just kind of gave it out because people wanted to have fun, but also people were struggling to feed themselves and stuff. Is very horrible. And we had a lot of people just growing mushrooms at home, and it turned into this viral thing. And the story was really funny. It was very much a New York thing. And then some friends of ours wanted to write an article about us in Bon Appetit. And Tony Ann is the author, and Tony Ann Fernandez, and she emailed me on a Thursday night and was like, this piece is going to go up on Friday. It's going to say that if you're in New York, you can buy from Smallhold, but if you're anywhere else, you can buy from this other company. And we were like, that's silly. And so I stayed up all night making a Shopify page, and Adam, my co-founder, stayed up all night figuring out this whole supply chain thing. And then it launched the next day, and we sold just a crazy amount of kits, and it just went completely viral from there. We were in New York Times, we were in Eater, we were in all sorts of stuff for that. And we still continue to do it. We've never run ads. What we see is that just allows people, it's like a good gateway into mushrooms. We think that once you sort of get into it, people get obsessed with mushrooms. They become mushroom people. I'm sure people, or the people listening probably know one or two people, maybe you are one, where you're just obsessed. It's like a lifestyle. And there's no better way of converting someone into that than getting them to grow it, because then that's like a life-changing moment for them. And so we continue to offer that, and it's still getting fresh mushrooms. It's as fresh as possible. It's grown locally. It's grown in your kitchen, and so it all kind of feeds back into that idea that we can get people to eat this really fresh, exciting product that's grown right there.